Is Bitcoin dead? I want to cover that right now. I'm gonna give you guys a few simple reasons supporting why Bitcoin is not dead, actually, and we can be looking at more potential upside. I'm gonna keep things clear because I know there's a lot of mixed news. Like we have the Fed bringing in fear, right? But then at the same time, we have a lot of bullish news like strategy buying more Bitcoin, more states wanting to accumulate Bitcoin, a lot of analysts being both negative and positive. So really, what is going on? Clear the can we clear this up? Because at the same time, traditionally or just historically in Bitcoin, February tends to be a very good month, especially if you consider the you know very bullish years like the year after a halving event like we are in 2025 is expected to be a very bullish year. So why are we seeing basically 10% down towards the end of February? Why are we seeing this? Why are we not seeing more positive news? Well, it all comes down to this right here, guys. It all comes down to this. This is what the true sauce is. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit extra sauce in the chart to describe a very simple view of the chart on why what we're seeing is actually healthy and why we can potentially be going up a lot higher very, very soon. So if you guys look at this right here, right? The red line is the amount of remaining supply, yellow or orange line, circulating supply, so the amount that is being basically created, and the actual price of Bitcoin, right? So if you look here, the amount of Bitcoin being created over time slows down, right? This has to do with the halving. This will continue to not go down, but settle a bit more as we continue into the future every single halving event, which happens every 4 years. But then if you look at the red line, and I don't know if you guys can see it, but it actually dipped a little bit recently, even more. So you have less Bitcoin being created over time, and it is a set supply. And at the same time, much more Bitcoin is being removed from the circulating supply. So demand is definitely growing as the supply is decreasing. Simple supply and demand, right? But why are we seeing Bitcoin fall? And if you guys were watching today's live stream, I only streamed for a little bit. I created this new support area well before Bitcoin came down here. I created it when it was still up here because I wanted to show the potential of if this breaks, how far down can we go? And during today's live stream, I did add more to BitU to take advantage of these discounted prices. So I have 120,000 invested in BitU, and I plan to add even more if prices stay down here going into tomorrow's market open day, right? Tomorrow's market hours. But what I want to show you guys is the very, the bigger picture, the very simple view of Bitcoin, right? So it's nothing different than what we've seen back here, right? It's actually technically a little bit better. I can't go all the way back, but we were trading much, much lower. Well before we even broke over 40,000, we were trading in the 20s and 30s, right? Then we had a big pump up. What Bitcoin then ended up doing because of this large pump up was consolidate sideways for a while to factor in this big price pump. Now, during this sideways consolidation in 2024, what we saw was increased demand for Bitcoin. We saw the halving event happen. Supply begins to go down, and there is more increasing interest for Bitcoin, right? So that's what we saw during this time. Eventually, because demand kept outweighing supply, eventually, and we still had obviously much more time to go, historically speaking, with the length of a bull market and how long it's expected to last. All those reasons, we ended up seeing a very aggressive pump. Now, this very aggressive pump is now being factored in just like the 20 to 30, 20 to even $40,000 price range, right? So this is the equivalent. We pump up, and actually much more aggressively than previously in last year. So we pump up a lot, right? What we're seeing now is the same thing, sideways consolidation to factor in this big move up. So as we continue to consolidate sideways and the prices came down, as you can see, we are much lower. We're getting very close to 90,000. And we've seen prices below that. not that far ago, right? We've seen prices below 90K not that far ago. We can see that happen again. It can come all the way down to like 89, potentially even break this simple low, right? But it all stays the same. We still have, historically speaking, much more time left in this bull market. We are only just entering March in 2025, and everything here is the same like in 2024. We have continued decrease in Bitcoin supply, right? There's no more being created at the rate that we've seen previously. The rate is decreasing in the amount that's being created. At the same time, demand is increasing and much more. Just recently, Strategy, otherwise known as MSTR previously, just bought $2 billion of Bitcoin. You have states like Georgia that are passing another bill because they really, really want to buy Bitcoin, just like a lot of other states in the US are buying. There's a lot of countries buying Bitcoin. And you have a pending US strategic reserve for Bitcoin, right? So eventually that may come out. No confirmation yet, but it's so far looking very promising, right? But besides the strategic reserve in the US, we have an increasing appetite for Bitcoin demand, right? It continues to go up. With that being said, supply and demand is strengthening just like it was strengthening back here in this level. Unlike this level though, this one right here is a little bit more healthy in my opinion. We're not seeing those lower lows and lower highs throughout this correction. We're actually seeing a little bit of a higher high here, and we're seeing lows that struggle to break below other lows. As you can see right here, we've been fighting these levels for quite a bit, and we're still a little bit above this swing low right here. So there is a lot of there's a lot of things backing up Bitcoin with the amount of appetite and adoption for Bitcoin, right? So really, this is just my simple opinion on why Bitcoin is not dead. It is continuing to evolve. You guys need to remember too that it hasn't been that long since we started this sideways correction, and just before that, we had a massive run up, right? So it is just a matter of time before that supply and demand gets reflected within the price of Bitcoin. So I am going to keep holding onto my BitU position, which is a ×2 leveraged Bitcoin ETF, and I plan to accumulate more because I strongly believe until there's solid evidence that will change my opinion, which there's not at this moment, I am not going to change anything. The Bybit hack does not change the actual underlying foundation for Bitcoin. And the Federal Reserve does not change the underlying foundation for Bitcoin either. The structure is going up, down, up, down. Soon enough, it will rally back up. Also, the level we're in right now is very similar to the level we're in here. We're just seeing what happens when Bitcoin goes up a lot very aggressively. It needs to factor in that aggressive move up. So I'm not being feared out of Bitcoin. I am not in no ways at this moment seeing enough evidence to change my opinion, and I will continue to keep accumulating at these levels. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, this is my simple reason on why Bitcoin is not dead and it has room to go up. I still stand very strongly with this next leg up area. First, we need to fill in this imbalance right here to pave a way, right? If that's the right way to say it, to eventually reach a new all-time high in this next leg up area. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.